Hi guys. Okay, so today's video we are actually doing a video on the two of us. We wanted you guys to get to know us a little bit better, so the people who are providing your healing services for you guys. And so you know a little bit about who we are, what we're about, and where we came from. So no oracles today, but we do want to talk about some things that we really think that you guys will probably relate to on some level. So one of the main things that I wanted to talk about today was that where I was and where I am now. And I think that all of us, a lot of us grew up in religious homes. I know that I grew up in a very, very devout Christian home, and that didn't really have any tolerance for other people's beliefs. And if you look at where I grew up and how I grew up and who raised me and me turning into the human being that I am now, it is a huge transformation. And for some people it doesn't make sense, because I know that there are a lot of people that I know who are really good friends of mine who are as Christians who are in the faith. You know, they feel like they have found the thing, or they have been at different places in their life where they were doing drugs or whatever, and they found God, and they feel, and not just God, but they found Christianity, and they feel like that is the answer. So when they look at me, what they feel is, you know, she knows about this, which is the only way. How could she not believe that when she already knew? And we all have these paths of self-discovery. So where I am at in my life, in my practice, and who I am, is that I am a high priestess. I am a part of a pagan circle. I love my coven sisters very, very much. We all support and love each other. We are women who are very uplifted by our feminine power and the things that we can offer the world to help and heal it in the most positive way possible. And that is who I am. What I came from was a very religious background where my parents, you know, ingrained in us, especially my father, ingrained in us that Jesus was the only way, the truth, and the light, and any other way, any other belief, any other anything, you were going to hell. And I just don't feel that. You know, I don't feel it in my heart. I don't feel it in my soul. It doesn't feel right to me. It doesn't resonate with me. That a God who could love us so much and create everything for us, and, you know, potentially in Christianity send somebody down to die on a cross for us, would not let me into heaven because something didn't resonate with me. Like, a certain thing just didn't seem right, or you know what I'm saying?
Yes.
Yeah.
It just was not right.
It was
not right.
Yeah.
And you couldn't follow that path.
Yeah.
It makes sense.
Yeah. So Harmony and I have come from very different backgrounds, and how we came to know each other in a from where okay.
It's a long story.
It is a long story. Like the bullet point version of how Harmony and I met each other was, she was dating a friend of mine, and well, she's actually dating a friend of a friend who became my friend. And so in that circle, you know, I grew up in my early 20s with a bunch of guys, and it was wild and crazy. Anything associated with kind of like a frat house is pretty much how the two of us lived our lives for a while. That should say a lot about the two of us. But we are fun. We are very fun people. So it was crazy. And then there was a breakup, and Harmony had to go down her path, and I was still on my crazy 20s adventure, you know, doing all sorts of wild stuff and having fun. And then we both came back to a point where we were in the same spiritual realm. And I had started massage school, and my eyes were being opened to so many things. And my spiritual awakenings were happening in a much different way. Like when I was a kid and I was growing up at the church, I really felt like, I don't know if I felt as spiritually connected as I did once I was more of a spiritualist. When I was at church, I felt like I was blindly following something that I really, even as a teenager who was walking it and living it, it still didn't feel quite right, and it wasn't the stuff that I really believed in. I wasn't somebody who really felt like they needed to not have sex until they got married. That seemed absurd, really.
Miss Sex Magic now.
Miss Sex Magic, yes. Yes, that is me. That is my specialty for the circle that I am in. Is I am the sex magic practitioner. So, and there's so much to that. That's a whole another video.
Yeah.
But I've been talking for 5 minutes, so I want to hand it over to Harmony for a minute so she can tell you where she came from and how she came to the path where she is at right now.
Yeah, so my parents themselves were not religious at all. Spiritual, not religious, so they didn't pressure or push me and my sister also to go to church or anything, but they were very open. They're like, if you want to go to church, go to church. If you don't want to go, don't go. They didn't really mind either way, but a lot of my family and family are very religious, and so I was exposed to both Catholic and Christian religions throughout my younger childhood years. And kind of same with you. It was something that I just did not resonate with. Didn't really feel comfortable with the guidelines and the rules. But I felt a connection. My mom was very open with the angels. She loves angels. And so very open with that kind of stuff. So I've always been exposed to kind of everything growing up. And then, let's see, I got to a point where I was, for those that may know what I'm talking about, I was energetically taken over by a spirit. And I want to share that because these things do happen, and if somebody else has experienced that, talk to me. I can, maybe help you out if you don't really understand. But anyway, I was taken over, and so all I could think about was angels help me, and they did. And that's what really opened up the floodgates for me in starting my journey with the angelic realm and energetic healing and beliefs and all that kind of stuff. And then I found myself at another really low point, and I was just kind of giving up, and I didn't know what to do. I was drowning my feelings in booze and just not giving a shit about anything. And this is how we came back in line with each other. I was at a point where I was on handed knee, and I was like, just please help me. And didn't know how, when, why, or where, but it was just, I give up, help me. And I think it was like 2 days later, Emily texted me, and she was asking how I was doing and wanted to meet up and hang out. And so I was like, all right, cool. So we did, and that's when she was already going through all your massage and energy work and stuff, and she opened me up to all that and taught me so much about all that, which is really awesome. And since then, that was like 5 years ago now.
Yeah.
Yeah. So since then, I've just been working a lot with the angels and chakras, and I am now certified Reiki Master Practitioner, which is
proud of you.
Awesome. Yeah. So that's awesome. So healing sessions are my thing at this point, and stuff. And so, yeah, I mean, that's kind of where I'm at, and yeah.
That's really interesting. Yeah. I didn't know a couple of those things.
Oh!
Yeah. Like, I didn't know that you had ask the angels to help you.
Yeah.
And that's how you got open to the angelic realm. Like,
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
And I didn't know that you were like in a bad place asking for help, and then I text you.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I don't know, when you think about me 5 years ago,
Yeah.
I probably wouldn't have the best energy.
That's true. And I'm a fixer person. Like, I want to help everybody. I am most definitely on every single level a healer. Like, I see people and I just want to help and pour myself out. And sometimes I do it too much, to the point where I'm giving too much of myself and I'm not shielding myself enough and putting up enough of other things. But, yeah, I could definitely see that. I mean, we had met up over at Harmony's house with a friend of mine for a different reason, and actually was related to her sister, not to Harmony. And I had briefly talked to her, and it really made me want to reach out to her. And I had wanted to before, but because I was still living in the house with all the guys that I was living with, I didn't know if it was going to make it an awkward situation. But at that point, I had actually moved out on my own. Like, this all like happened like that, like all at once. It was like a huge shift for everybody, for me, for her, for everything. And having my own place like was able to empower me to really live the most authentic life that I could without, and it wasn't even the judgment of other people, it was the freedom to be able to have the space to manifest the type of clients and energy I wanted in my home. Whereas before, when you live with a bunch of roommates, if somebody is toxic but they're a friend of somebody else, if your friends want them over, you kind of got to put up with it, because it's their friend and they're living there too, and they're paying rent and they're paying bills and all the rest of that jazz.
Yeah, you don't get a lot of say.
No, you
Not
don't.
too much.
But yeah, I didn't know.
Yeah,
That was really cool.
It's really, absolutely love, and I'm so thankful for you. But I absolutely love the way, like she said earlier, we became friends through a mutual friend, and then shit went down and we separated and went our own ways for a while. And we got back in touch with each other, and it was like at the perfect timing. It was all just divine timing.
It was, absolutely.
And it was just right where it was meant to be. And I wouldn't be where I am spiritually without her. So that's super awesome.
And I'm glad to have helped facilitate that.
Yeah, and like you helping me is helping me, so I can hopefully help other people, and it just keeps that ripple going.
It does, and it comes back. Like right now, I'm at a point in my life where I need a little help. Like, I do really give out way too much at so many points, and there's not a lot of times when I self-reflect in on the most important things. I am most self-reflective of I wish I was in a relationship. But I think we all the single people out there, who all kind of feel that way when we're not with somebody.
Most of the time.
You want
to be with somebody.
Yeah.
You want to be in a relationship.
And I enjoy my freedom. Don't get me wrong. I mean, I live it up. I have a great time. Anybody who knows me knows that I am not missing out on the good parts of freedom. But, I've needed lately someone to look at my life in a spiritual way and change my perspective, and she's most definitely done that for me. And now that she is a Reiki master and I've got healings from her, you guys should definitely get one. She's amazing. She's touched, like the person who has the power in the movie. So yeah, you sure do.
And that's on the video.
Right. So yeah, we've come to this place in our lives from our backgrounds and where we're at, and I'm sure that you guys have all been there. Growing up in religious homes where you may have felt like this wasn't what you wanted to do, or you felt like you were forced in it, because if you didn't, then you were going to go to hell. And I'm here to tell you, you are not going to hell. And I think having something implanted in that your brain for that long, like a brainwashing type of way, I think it's always a quiet whisper that is in the back of your voice. But I will tell you that when that was the thing that I stopped directly following all the rules and believing every type of doctrination that goes with it, that all of the judgmental chatter that goes along with that religion stopped in the back of my head.
Yeah.
I had my dad who would say things like, he's so nice, it's too bad he's gay and he's going to go to hell. You know, that's awful. And like, if anybody knows me right now, I am queen of the gays. I love all of my gays. But that's that limited perspective that comes from a very strange, prejudicial place that came from people who wrote a book hundreds of years ago, or thousands of years ago, not even hundreds. Yeah. You know, where it was an entirely different world, it was an entirely different life, and things were just different. And I don't think that it was those things that really didn't resonate with me at all, like especially all the prejudicial stuff, because I am all about love. I'm about sharing love and bringing love into my life and being the facilitator of love all over the world, because that's the light that I choose to be. And yeah, and I think massage school really did it for me. You know, it really, when we started learning about the chakra system and we started working with it, and energy became a palpable thing, I was aware of an entirely different way. It opened my third eye up in a way that nothing else ever had before. Yeah, it's beautiful. Anything to add, my dear?
You know, when you said something about, you know, with religion, you know, going to hell, I think hell is something that is inside you. You create your own hell. You can. Yeah. And it's not a place that you die and go to. It's something that you bring upon yourself. And so when we can tap into our intuition and our authenticity and, you know, be in a state of love and respect and not worry about the hoopla of how things are supposed to be, I think that's when beautiful things start to happen and you can really open up.
And part of that beauty in opening those things up is because you came from a toxicity and you are now in a place where you are spiritually enlightened, then you can begin to heal the wounds. I can't imagine still having all of that toxic background and still living in a state where I felt those prejudices and not healing from it. Like now, like I do so much self-healing that I am trying as a spiritual being to be a better ball of light, you know. And if I wasn't doing that, if I was still walking that path that I was raised in, I would still be looking at people with prejudices and with judgments. And as much as, like in the Bible, it'll say, love the sinner and hate the sin, there's still that judgment that goes on with it. It's not really a separation, as much as people may look at it that way. Every single... And if you're watching this video and you are a Christian, I'm offending you at the moment. This is not my intention. My intention is to be a ball of light. I'm just telling you how I feel and where I came from, and that was what I experienced in my life with my friends and my family. I am so glad that I am past that and moving on to a place that has no judgment, that loves and accepts everybody, that wants to be love and light in the world and touch the people that I know in such a positive way, that even if there's somebody who's religious and Christian and doesn't agree with what I am doing, at the very least, every time they leave my presence, they left with a taste of love in their mouth that I brought to the table.
Yeah.
You know?
And I think too, for anybody that was religious and is now maybe transitioning into spirituality, you know, be patient with yourself.
Absolutely.
Because there's a lot of change that has to happen, and there's going to be, I'm speaking from experience here, there's going to be people that don't understand and have those judgments on you still, and have those opinions, and at the end of the day, that's all that they are. There are their judgments and their opinions, so don't let it stop you from following your truth, and don't feel like you're doing something wrong because you're doing something different. different is good, change is good. I always encourage that.
Yeah.
And yeah, it's just following your truth.
Get yourself rooted in a community and make friends who believe the things that you believe.
Yeah.
Because the most important part of that isn't that you are being redoctrinated in a different way. The part of that is that you are around people who support you. Harmony and I do things very differently. When you see Addie and I together, we do things very, very similarly. Harmony and I do things very differently, even though it has the same outcome. She works with a lot of angels. I don't. Angels aren't my thing. And it's not like I have any prejudices towards them. I will say I felt like I did have an aversion to that path because that's the path that I left. Whereas I think that some people might feel that that's the closest to home that they can get, so they're comfortable with it. And I don't think Harmony came from either one of those places. I think that that's just the place that she landed in. You know? Yeah, angels were right for her, and they work in her practice, they work in her healing sessions, they work in her life, they work in her card readings. I tend to work with multi-pantheonic deities, and I specifically usually work with the Greek pantheon and the Hindu pantheon. And those are two very different separate things, and it depends on what I am going to, and I'm sure that I'm going to have some pagans or Wiccans who are watching this video and feel that I need to follow one or the other. But I am also an eclectic pagan. And eclectic.
I love using that because same, you know, I do follow the angels, but I do go to those pagan deities or you know, what have you.
Yeah.
And I think that's the beauty in what we do also is there is no one straight away.
Yeah.
Like, you get to make it your own, and it's awesome.
Whatever's right for you, whatever's working for you, stick with it. Because the happier you are, the more love that you are going to be able to bring into your life and to impart onto other people.
Yep. It's beautiful.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool. Anything else?
I don't know.
Yeah.
Oh, I do have one question.
Okay.
For you, if you could pick your favorite thing, whether it's crystals, oils, deities, what's your favorite go-to, like?
To what, solve a problem? Or?
Just to connect, like.
Just to connect. I am a Leo. So I am all about passion and feeling, and so creating an atmosphere is really, really important to me. So if I'm going to get in the zone, I'm going to turn off all of the electronic media, anything in my house. I am going to put on whatever kind of music is inspiring for the work that I need to do that night, whether it's sensuality or meditation or whatever it is. And I am probably going to grab some oils and a crystal and do the thing. I need music and I need to smell something.
Yeah.
Like those two things are important. Like even if I didn't have the crystals, I need music and I need to smell something. Incense, or oils, you know, whatever. I need music and I need to smell something.
I feel the same.
You know, it's the it's the Leo in me. I need it. Helps even more if I have candles. Like especially if I'm doing any spell work, I feel like candles are my favorite. I love working with fire, but I feel like if I'm doing something that's sensual, if I'm doing sex magic, or if I'm doing something like that, like the flame ignites something inside of me, and it's my thing.
Yeah. Cool.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yay.
Yeah.
Cool. All right. I think we're good. I was trying to think if I had any questions for you, but I think my biggest question to begin with is how you became connected with angels. But you answered that at the beginning. I didn't even know that. Yeah.
I mean, I knew about them, but was not connected.
What's your favorite part about working with angels?
Ooh, the warm, fuzzy feelings.
Okay.
Honestly, if I could describe an angel, it is like a big warm hug. And it just feels so damn good.
Good.
And that's all I got. It's like a big warm hug. That's the easiest explanation.
Nice. Cool.
Yeah.
All right.
Okay.
Well, thanks for watching, guys.
Yeah.
I hope that this video helped you in some way, shape, or form. If you have been where we were at, we totally understand. If you need help and guidance on where to go next, shoot an email or message us in the comments. Any questions, let us know. So we hope that this video helped you in any way. We hope it was educational, it was full of love, and you got what you needed from it. And we will see you next time, and thank you for sitting with us to getting to know the girls between the worlds. Bye.
Thank you. Bye.